Happy New Year, everybody. What's going on, dolls? Welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful, beautiful, blessed, groovy New Year's thus far. And can you believe we are already in 2014? You know, when I was a little girl, I didn't think that I would ever see 2014. So it's crazy. It's crazy that we're actually into a brand new year. And I don't know if you guys feel like I feel, but 2013 really just flew by. Here today and gone tomorrow type deal. So, yeah, we're in 2014. It's a new year. Hopefully it's a new you and new beginnings. Now, what I wanted to do on today's topic of discussion was something geared towards relationships and dating. And well, before I go any further, I hope you guys are sipping. If you're not, go ahead and do so. I just got a bottle of water, and go ahead and grab you something to sip on while watching this video. And what I wanted to do was speak from this book right here. Now, I know a lot of you guys have seen this book. You know what this book is. For those of you out there who have no idea what this book is, it is Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. This is Steve Harvey's book. And if you hadn't read the book, I'm pretty sure you've seen the movie. So I pulled this book out a couple of months ago. I had actually bought the book, you know, when it first was when it first came out a couple of years ago. And I brought this book back out a couple of months ago because I wanted to revisit some of the chapters. And it was very interesting to read the notes that I had taken, you know, a couple of years back, just to reread those things and revisit where I was at that time. It was crazy. It was crazy. But we as women really appreciate Steve Harvey for putting this book out there, for giving us a little knowledge, for educating us a little bit, because, you know, we can be confused sometimes, and which I know men are probably confused too. But there's a lot of confusion when it comes to men and women and trying to understand one another, especially when you're talking about relationships, you know. So like I said, I think that women can really respect the fact that Steve Harvey put this book out there. And I know a lot of the fellas didn't appreciate it. You know, I heard so many men say so many negative things about Steve, you know, why he did that, why he put that book out there. The stuff he's saying is not true. Well, I honestly feel like a lot of the things are true, and a lot of the men can relate to the things that he's saying, but they just don't want to admit to it. That's my take. That's my take. I feel like there's a lot of men out there who feel Steve, but they're not going to come out and admit to that. And so, but I mean, on the other hand, there are some men out there that'll say, you know what? I respect Steve. I respect Steve for putting it out there and just being real. You know what I'm saying? So let me get into what I wanted to talk about today. And what I wanted to briefly do is touch on chapter 9 in this book. And the name of the chapter is called Men Respect Standards. Get some. Okay? And if you have this book already, you know, you can take it upon yourself on your free time, during your free time, to go back and revisit this chapter if you like. And so you can kind of get a better idea of, you know, just kind of revisit the areas that I'm going to touch on in this book. Now, at the end of the chapter, he has 10 questions that he asks. And, you know, here he says, I've listed questions here that you should consider as you formulate your top 10 requirements. Now, so I did answer some of the questions in there, and I don't mind sharing my answers with you guys. Now, I'm not going to answer all 10 of the questions because you guys know that, you know, my video will be 20 minutes long. So I'm just going to briefly speak on a few of the questions that I answered. Now, the first one, he says, number 1 says, what specific kind of man are you looking for? He has, for an example, funny, hardworking, generous. Now, I think that that's a question that we all as women should ask ourselves, you know, single women Even women who are divorced, you know, if you're looking to get back into the dating world and get back into, you know, building and getting to know people, I think that number one, that question is a very, very key question. And I think that we as women should be able to answer that. And so, once again, number one says, what specific man are you looking for? Number two, how do you expect to be pursued? And then he goes on to saying, you know, do you want regular phone calls, text messages, dates at least 3 times a week? You know, what are you looking for from a man? How are you looking to be pursued? Now, for number two, I'll share, you know, my answer with you guys. And, you know, I'm a texter. I do feel like texting is not a form of communication all the time. It's convenient. But I do feel like as two grown adults, two people should be able to have a conversation over the phone. Not saying that we got to sit and talk for 3 and 4 hours every night. You know, if we're getting into knowing one another and getting into dating, I'm not saying that. But I'm just simply saying that you should be able to have a phone call over the phone with that person, because there's so many feelings and it's not so much you can get from a text message. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're getting to know someone. So, I am a texter, like I said, but I don't mind phone calls, and I would actually sometimes prefer phone calls. I also said a date once a week would be cool. And I also stated, and I still feel this way, I think that QT is always helpful when getting to know someone. And here, I don't know if you guys can see, I went into a whole long, drawn-out answer for number two. And I also stated that QT, you know, because I'm a QT person, but QT doesn't always mean going out and spending money. You know, I love movies. I love Redbox, you know. I'm a movie person. So QT and spending time doesn't always have to be out and about and spending money. All right, moving right along. Number three, what level of commitment do you expect? Do you want an open relationship or date exclusively? Number four, what kind of financial security do you expect this man to have? Do you want him to be rich, to make more money than you, or are you okay with a blue-collar worker? All right, and that's number four. Now, for me personally, I would want someone who is somewhat on the same level of myself or a little bit higher, because I believe in building, you know, especially if this is someone that I'm dating and then we one day, you know, get married. I would want us to build together. I would want us to build businesses together. I would love to watch us grow. You know, we started from here and then we here. You know what I'm saying? Started from the bottom, now we here type deal. You know what I'm saying? So I would want to be able to grow with that person. And I would want us to grow together as a couple and then also as individuals as well. So that's just my take on that question. Because I'm the type of person where I've always been really independent. And I've never really had a man take care of me. There's nothing wrong with that. But me personally, I've just never had that type of relationship with anybody where somebody says, you know what, Mika, you don't have to worry. I'll take care of everything. You know, you sit back, do whatever. I've always worked and I've always been very independent. So I would not want to go into a relationship where someone is pretty much taking care of me. That's just not my cup of tea. So, and no disrespect to anybody out there who prefers men like that, but that's just me. You know what I'm saying? So, moving right along. Number 5, do you want a man who wants kids and who is family oriented? Number 6, does he have to be religious/spiritual? And I really want to speak on all of these questions. I really do, guys, but I'm going to keep it moving. Number 7, do you mind if he's a divorcee or has kids? I will speak on that, and I spoke on, you know, dating someone with kids in a previous video. But me personally, I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind anyone who has kids because I have children. So I would not mind dating. I think dating someone with kids and who is very oriented, family oriented, who is very involved with his children, he will have a better understanding of me because I have children. So that was number 7. Number 8, can you help a man build his dream? Can you adapt to his plan? Now that is a good question. That's an excellent question that I think we as women should be able to answer. That's a good question. Number 9, what do you expect from his family? I'm sorry. Should you get along with his mother? Do you care if he doesn't get along with her? Or if his father was never around? And I think that number 9 is also a very good question because these are things that we have to think about. You know, these are things that we have to know if we're really ready for, you know. Some men are very close to their mothers, and sometimes that can cause problems into a relationship, you know what I'm saying? So number 9 is a good question. And number 10, what should he be willing to do to woo you? Should he pursue you? Give expensive gifts, etc., etc. So those were the 10 questions. And like I said, if you have the book, you can go back and revisit these this chapter, which was chapter 9, and sit down and really dissect these questions for yourselves. Ladies, if you don't have this book, you can rewatch this video as many times as you want and just kind of, answer the questions as you rewatch the video, or if you want to jot them down, or however you want to do. But I recommend that everyone who is single, who is divorced and getting back into the dating world, take the time out to really think about these questions and think about how they are applied to your life. So yeah, I just wanted to run that chapter by you guys. Like I said, there's so much more that I wanted to elaborate on and talk about, but I'm already pushing 13 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up, guys. I look forward to us chit-chatting real soon. And until the next video, love and beauty.